If you're thinking about traveling to Italy, but terrified of what it's going to do to your bank account, don't cancel those flights just yet. Because the truth is, while a lot of tourists fall into some traps designed to drain their wallet, I'm going to give you 5 simple, local approved hacks you can use to save hundreds of dollars on food, sightseeing, and transportation. And you won't have to miss out on anything you actually came to Italy for. I'm Gary with Optimal Travel. Let's get into number 1, which completely flips the script on where you eat. When I first started traveling to Italy, I had visions of sitting down and having incredible meals at local Italian restaurants, trying the local typical dishes, and just going around the country and tasting my way through. But this can get rather expensive quickly. There are some great Italian eats that you can get very cheaply in the fast food arena. And when I say fast food, I'm not talking about going to McDonald's or Burger King or KFC. Yes, they have these American chains there. You want to skip those completely because there are some real authentic fast food Italian eats that you'll completely miss if you only go to sit-down restaurants. One popular way a lot of locals will eat either a lunch or a dinner inexpensively when they're eating out is by going to one of these fast food Italian pasta chains like Pastasciutto or Ugo. These are basically made-to-order pasta spots where you have a limited number of choices, but they use authentic local ingredients or local types of pasta that you probably haven't even tried before, and they make it the right way. It's not a 5-star dining experience. In fact, at some of these places, you won't even have tables to sit down. It'll be completely for takeaway. You might have to bring it back to your hotel, but you'll still get an incredible meal at a price of between 5 and 10 euros per person. Compare that to an average price of 20 to 30 euros if you go to sit down at a restaurant for a meal. And then there are all the amazing street foods. Now, a lot of these street foods, you can actually go to a place, order it, and they'll have tables and chairs set up outside. And you can sit down and eat it right there. But it'll be much less expensive than a traditional Italian restaurant. And I'm talking about things like arancini or pizza by the slice. A lot of places throughout Italy, you can find these wonderful porchetta sandwiches, which everybody seems to love. It's basically made with pork, but it's slow cooked in a way that makes it incredibly tasty. Around Rome and other areas in the north especially, you'll find these trapezinos, which are basically like a pizza dough made into a pocket, and they stuff in there various comfort foods. So you might want one with meatballs or one with chicken cacciatore. You can also find panelle. You'll find this more in the south, especially if you go to Sicily, which is kind of like a chickpea fritter that's fried. It's really good. Or in the north, a special out of Florence is the lampredotto. I'm not even going to go into what's in there.
I will get into lampredotto because when I was a little girl, I would smell it in the kitchen of my nonna. She would be cooking it, and I wasn't too sure back then, but now I love it. It's tripe, and it's locally from Florence.
And don't forget to try out the local markets. A lot of cities, like Florence, for example, have a local marketplace where vendors set up selling all kinds of street foods and even some more traditional things or more American things, just like hamburgers, but made in an Italian way. And they're all inexpensive. And this is really the kind of places where locals who have to eat out go to save some money. Eating at Italian fast food spots like this is not skipping the experience, it's actually getting more of an authentic Italian experience. But does that mean you should skip the traditional restaurants altogether? The trick to saving money is to eat your big meal at lunch. A lot of the restaurants in the major Italian cities will offer even prefixed menus for lunch, which means you can get a 3 or 4 course meal at a low price because it's lunchtime. or the menu for lunch will generally be cheaper than the menu for dinner. Look on Google reviews and find restaurants a street or two away from the main attractions with high ratings, and you'll probably pay a little less for a more authentic Italian experience. If you're going to sit down at a nice restaurant once a day during your Italy trip, do it at lunch and you'll save hundreds of dollars over that trip. And then for dinner, you can go find a great street food snack or something else, or even a pizza. A lot of pizza places in Italy will deliver, and they'll deliver their whole menu right to your hotel. You can either call them up directly, or you can use one of the popular delivery service apps in Italy, which are Glovo and Deliveroo.
Another thing about food is that even if Italy has in general pastas and all their dishes and pizzas, things are local to the areas. So, for example, you'll find the best arancini in the south of Italy, and if you want a Milanese risotto, you'll get it in Milan, and things like that.
And there's another hack you can use that could actually cut the cost of your trip in half. I have been to Italy during every season of the year. And while most tourists come here in the summer, that's when it's the most crowded, it's also the hottest and the most expensive. Hotels in particular can be double or triple the price in the middle of summer than they are in November or December or January. And if you're avoiding the major holidays during the off-season, you can find deals that will save you half off of your entire trip. In addition to the major savings on hotels, you'll avoid a lot of the nickel and dime fees, like the day pass into Venice, or some of the fees to get down to the coastline on certain beaches. They go away in the off-season.
For us, the off-season in Italy is now the best season to go because there's just less heat, less people, and you can really get more opportunities to see things and more time to yourself.
But whenever you decide to come to Italy, you can always use this next hack to save big money on transportation. If you're like me, when you come to Italy, you're not just gonna visit one city and go home. You're gonna hit a few spots, if not more. And you might be starting out in Milan or Rome. And when you fly in there, you might spend a few days touring that city. And then you wanna go to another city, maybe two other cities before going home. A lot of tourists make the mistake of just thinking they'll figure that out when they get here because they know there's a decent high-speed train network and they can just figure out when they're going to go, buy a ticket, and get on board. And while that is true, the ticket prices tend to be a lot more expensive when you buy them last minute. So if you do a little planning ahead of time and figure out what days you want to be in each city and get online and start booking those tickets, you can find a much lower price and lock that in. And those train tickets are typically 100% refundable, so there's no risk. If you get here and your plans change, as long as you change that ticket before you were supposed to get on that train, you will get that money back and you can use it for another ticket or just have it put back in your credit card. While you can't get that type of refund if you book air travel, you still might want to look at booking air travel as an alternative way of getting around Italy. There are some discount air carriers in Italy that can get you all around. So if you want to get from Rome to, say, Palermo to see Sicily, you can book an airfare. It's probably a lot more convenient than the train. And if you book it well in advance, you'll get a decent price. The same thing goes for getting from Rome to Venice or from Milan to Rome. You can book airfare as well as train tickets. And sometimes the airfare is not even any more expensive. Next, I'm going to get to two local tips that will help you keep some more money in your wallet. But first, if you would take a minute and subscribe to our channel, hit that like button. It helps us grow and you won't miss our next video. Most of the major historical sites, including many of the major museums like the Uffizi Museum in Florence, are completely free to enter the first Sunday of the month. So if you plan your trip strategically and plan to be in one of these places where you want to see a couple of sites that could cost you between 20 and 30 euros a person, you can get in for free as long as you're there on that first Sunday of the month. Now, in the summertime, these places might get packed and they might get full to capacity and you might not get in. But if you're there in the off season, there is almost no chance you'll be denied. They just don't have the same amount of crowds. And you can see these things for completely free on that day, which is going to save you a little money.
On these free days, you just have to show up super early and get in line expecting to get in. And just get in line. Don't try to get tickets or to buy from people who will try to scam you selling tickets that are not really valid on these days.
One thing you will notice local Italians doing, especially outside the major tourist centers, is taking advantage of the Aperitivo hour, which is typically between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., where you can go to a local bar and order a cocktail like a spritz and get some finger foods, almost like a light dinner meal, for completely free. Usually they have a wide array of offerings, everything from olives to light pasta salads to even focaccia pizza breads. And you can get them for free when you're ordering cocktails. So for the price of a cocktail, you can not only have a drink, but you can have a light dinner. And if you had a nice heavy lunch, it might be enough to get you by and you don't even have to pay for more food. If you're wondering if a bar has these included with the drinks, all you have to do is ask for stuzzichini. It's a pretty common practice. Most bars during these hours will put these things out, and you just have to ask for what you want because they'll have a wide variety of offerings. So now that you know some hacks to help you stay on budget in Italy, a lot of travelers to Italy end up frustrated because they make some key packing mistakes. I'll tell you what to avoid right here.